Oh, damn, in a lot of my talkings, um, I talk about the Torah or the Jewish scriptures, and I recently started using the term Jewish scriptures because when I say the Torah, I don't know what the Jews mean when they say the Torah. I think they might mean the first five books of Moses. I don't know. When I say the Torah, I'm talking about what Muslims or Christians would talk about as the Old Testament. Although I don't see it as old as all at all. I fucking like I've read this so-called Old Testament, and it's just like so fucking new to me. Fuck, and it's just awesome. It's just awesome. And if only the Jews followed this Old Testament, then this whole world would be new and amazing. Um, but there's two other writings by the Jews. I don't know what the second one's called. Like maybe the Madras or something. But it's this commentary by these later non-canon Jews about the interpretation of the scriptures, and it's totally something I want to read one day. Oh my god, it's on my list of things to do. Fuck yeah, that's totally. And I've heard some of the things from it, and it sounds really interesting. It does, and it sounds like a bunch of honest men, like especially the earlier Midrash. I don't know what it's called. Rather than later ones, because the later ones is maybe filled with vainglory and all that. I don't know. But no, it's totally something I want to fucking do one day. Oh my god. No, but that's not Jewish scripture at all. That's not Jewish. That's people comment. That's just normal folk, normal folk commenting on the Jewish scriptures. And it seems interesting. It does. But I don't think any of them get it. I don't think any of them get it at all. I think all of the midrash is just honest idiots who are trying to feel their way through a world that they cannot see. But then there's the Kabbalah, and I've learned about this Kabbalah stuff, and it's just like, damn, how fucking pathetic is the Kabbalah? How fucking pathetic is the Kabbalah? Damn. Like, and any of you Jews who follow the Kabbalah, like, it has nothing to do with the original Jewish scriptures. It has nothing. It has everything to do with the opposite of. Like, it's the total opposite of Moses. Like, the Kabbalah and Moses, they're opposites. Like, shit. The Kabbalah and Moses are opposites. Damn. But, I came to this conclusion through non-Jewish means. Because first of all, like, I grew up in this quote-unquote Western world, and I fucking learned all this Greek philosophy. I took philosophy as my major. I took philosophy as my fucking major, you know, and like, damn. Like, that's all the Kabbalah is. Like, that's all the Kabbalah is. It's defunct, dead Greek philosophy. Like, damn. Like, long live fucking Diogenes. Fuck yeah. Long live Socrates, because Socrates was opposite of all this Aristotelian bullshit, which is half-brained bullshit. And that's all the Kabbalah is half-brained bullshit. You know, because, like, the craftsman is art and a science. And all Aristotle is science. Right? And Diogenes, I think that's Diogenes, I could be wrong, but it's that badass motherfucking Greek, like the most badass philosopher ever. I think it was that guy who he was like, Socrates was walking along one time, and he saw this other philosopher that I'm calling Diogenes. I forgot his name, but because I'm just a drunk idiot. Speaking of, anyways, but he was walking along one time, and he said, like, Diogenes was like growing his own food. And so Diogenes was in the river, and he was like picking food out. He was picking food out so that he could make a meal and eat it. And Socrates passes him by, and they knew each other. They're rival philosophers. Like, Diogenes, like, that might not be his name, but Diogenes one time went into the school of Socrates, and Socrates has all these students around him that just suck his balls, right? Just like I suck Diogenes' balls, hell yeah. But he went into the school one time, and what he did was he grabbed a chicken, and he plucked all the feathers out of this chicken. He plucked all the feathers out of this poor fucking chicken. Like, this is fucking animal abuse. Like, it's total fucking animal abuse. Damn. But Socrates had defined man as a featherless biped. Socrates, the great Socrates had defined man as a featherless biped. And so this motherfucker comes in right into the middle of his school. Like, he just does whatever the fuck he wants. And he plucked he plucked all the feathers out of this poor fucking chicken. He plucked all the feathers out of this poor fucking chicken, and he tossed this featherless chicken into the middle of the room. And he's like, "Behold, Socrates is man." Like, Socrates one time said, "It's easy. It's easy." Because I still like Socrates, I do, and I think Socrates had a real respect for this guy, more than most. And Socrates said one time, it's easy to call me for my bullshit. Something like that. That's the gist of it. But that's basically what he said. He like, damn, no, it's... Because, like, people were praising him. And like, oh, you're Socrates, you're awesome. Like, everybody loves you. Like, oh, you're so smart. And he's like, no. Like, that's... that's along the lines of him saying, all that I know is that I do not know. Like, damn. Damn, that's humble right there. That's that's a humility that Aristotle never fucking had, and nor any of the philosophers after that. Like all these Platonists and all these other motherfuckers. Like, damn, that was a humility that none of these other Greek philosophers ever fucking had. And that's all the Kabbalah really is that it's... Well, no, because I'll get into this other part here soon. But essence. In essence. That's all that Kabbalah really is. It's Jewish jealousy against Western stupidity. Like, it's Jewish jealousy, because that's what the Torah says. Right? This is like Torah says is that these Jews who are going to be punished, they're going to be grinding and gnashing their teeth, and they're going to be the jealous ones, not the other way around. And that's what the Kabbalah is. It's fucking just Aristotelian idiocy. It's half-brained foolishness. Because craft is the art and the science of a thing. And all Aristotle is, and all modern philosophy is just all science. And there's no art to it. There's no art to any of the Kabbalah. And there's no art to any of Aristotle or any of the philosophers until maybe Nietzsche. And I don't think I necessarily agree with everything Nietzsche says. Definitely not. I don't think I do. But I've never read him, so I wouldn't know. But this motherfucker brought art back to philosophy. Something that died with Socrates. Because Socrates, as much as I love this other guy, I think, I think these two had a mutual respect for each other. I do. And I think Socrates had a really fucking good laugh. And this guy threw this feathers and pipe head into the middle of his school and said, "Behold, Socrates is mad." But another reason, I am not, and again, I've never read the Kabbalah, so maybe I'm wrong about what I'm about to say. But I do know a thing or two about Gnosticism. I do know a thing or two about Gnosticism. And when you look at the historical reality of Gnosticism, what you see is an elite. You see a ladder in men. And you see the men that are above and the men that are below. And the men that are above have nothing to do with necessarily merit shit. They don't. It's all about mysticism and this and that and the other thing. And really it's about toxic soap opera bullshit. But like one time I was learning about, I think it was Pythagoras, but it was one of these Greek motherfuckers, and but I think it was Pythagoras, and this motherfucker was trying to start a secret society, right, where you had the elites at the top, right, and everybody talks nowadays about the Albigensian Crusades. What was it? It was in southern France. You had these like Christian heretics that the other Christians attacked. But when you look at them, they were Gnostics. Because they were all about the elites at the top. They were all about the elites at the top. Like it was this elitist thing. That had nothing to do with merit. And everything to do with the vanity of the mind. Had everything to do with the vanity of the mind. So, I know a thing or two about Gnosticism. And one of the things I know about Gnosticism is that when Moses talked about the creation of the world, he said that God created the world and declared it to be good. God created the world and declared it to be good. And so one of the things I know about Gnosticism is that it creeps up in human society. Everybody talks about history, and nobody knows anything about fucking history at all. But one of the things I do know about history is that the Gnostics have always been amongst us. Right? Because, like, snake, apparently, from what I heard, snake also means accuser. It means accuser. Like, Moses was an enemy to the Gnostics. God is good, and he is not evil. He is not evil at all. At all. At all. It's the Gnostics that tell you that God is evil and that you should worship an elitist leadership. You should worship a nepotistic and elitist leadership. That's what fucking Gnosticism teaches. And, as far as I know, but I gotta read it for myself. But from the little bit that I've learned about the Kabbalah, it's Gnostic, and it is the 100% opposite of what Moses taught. It is the 100% opposite of what fucking Moses taught. It is the creation of Jews who were jealous of stupid Western men, and they fell into the curse of Western men, who is Aristotle. Fuck Aristotle. Fuck Aquinas. Fuck these bitches. Half-brain fools. Half-brain fools. Like, damn. And I could be wrong. I need to read it for myself before I make a judgment. I recently made a book, treatise on the book, and it's all about thinking for yourself. And it's like, anytime I start to read a book, I have to recognize my own biases before I start reading that book. But these are my biases. These are my biases from what I've heard. And my biases could be totally wrong. And I've read many books a time where I was humbled and my biases were wrong. And my treatise on a book basically just means think for yourself. That's it. Think for yourself. Think for yourself. So I could be totally wrong about the Kabbalah because I've never read it. I'm 46 years old, so I'm allowed to read it now because I think you're not allowed to read it until you're of a certain age. The same age where you can be president of the United States. But from what I've heard, the Kabbalah sounds like a bunch of dumb Greek bullshit and evil Gnosticism, which is opposed to Moses, and Moses is personally opposed to Gnosticism, because Gnosticism was before Moses, and Gnosticism was before Abraham, and Gnosticism is why the Jews are the chosen people, because ultimately the Jews will destroy Gnosticism in the future.